Hello there everybody, how are you all doing today? Hope you're all keeping well and I hope you're all keeping safe. Okay, let's get the tough love out of the way first of all. If you're planning to get into concert photography, don't expect the bands, the managements and the PRs to be the ones to reach out to you wanting you to work for their artists, because a lot of the times it ain't going to happen. You're going to have to pull up your big person pants and actually do the work yourself and reach out to them. Whew. Mark's getting very serious at the start of this video. Who burnt his toast today? My God. And it's true, and that's the reason why I've shared today's video. It's more or less a continuation from a previous video I done, which you can check out. It's somewhere in the top corner, wherever YouTube tends to put it, where I talk about how to get a photo pass. So the holy grail of concert photographers is getting a photo pass and getting in to shoot at a gig. And I did cover some of these things in little details here and there, but I more wanted to spend today's video talking about how you can ask bands and managements and PRs to get in and work for these shows, because again, they're not always the ones that are always going to reach out to you. You have to then go and network out for yourself. But first of all, hi, my name is Mark. I'm a photographer from Northern Ireland. I share photography related videos on this channel here. I appreciate you coming out and checking out the content. If you're new here, do like, share, subscribe and hit that wee bell icon so you can stay up to date with future videos. And if you are a regular subscriber, I'm always greatly appreciated that you stuck around to the channel. You have no idea how much it means to me. I guess you could put some of these things into all aspects of photography, but we're talking about concert photography as a whole. And full disclaimer, this is not the perfect end all to be all, take it as gospel sort of solution to get working with bands, because trust me, I've actually had more no replies than I've had yes or no's, but I have had situations where bands are happy enough with some of the things I've sent over. I've had situations where they've said, no, you have to do it another way. So I just want to cover all the different aspects that you can do to help yourself and help build up your networking and build up your portfolio and get to work with all these different artists. But again, a lot of the times you have to do the work. Don't expect everybody to come to you. You have to start doing the work too. So hopefully this video is helpful for you. So first and foremost, let's start with the easy one. Just message the band. You'll find that most artists will have some form of social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the good stuff out there. And it's so easy to message them. Even if it isn't, there is ways to find out how to message the group, whether it's finding specific members of the band or going on to their about pages and seeing like if there's a generic email. Like if you go to Facebook and About Me, sometimes you'll find the bands will have an email address in there, or they'll have a website which could take you to the email, or it'll take you to their band managements. So it's worth just going through all the different social medias and seeing what they offer to contact them. There has been times I've reached out to bands on Facebook and Instagram, whether it's the actual band page themselves or it's specific members that are a bit more active. There's no problem with just sending a little message here and there. So the way I would treat this is I would just style out my message like, hey, I see you're performing this show. Can I come along and be your photographer? If there's a person that I need to contact to make this happen, please share that information with me. It would be really good to work with it. You know, having that sort of general, hey, I would love to come along to your show, but also respecting that maybe the band will have a certain person that you need to actually talk to get in and work with it. Because some bands are easy enough to get in with the members of the band themselves. Other bands, you'll probably need to go through a management or a PR, so they could say, you know, yeah, sure, we'll get you on the guest list, or they might turn around and say, do you know what, we're not in charge of that sort of things, but here's an email to our tour manager or our PR company. Drop them a message. Say you were talking to whoever it was that's in charge of the social media, saying that, you know, it's all okay. And, you know, just, you know, all these little things just help build up that networking a little bit more, because You just don't appreciate just how many people are involved whenever it comes to concert photography. This technique also works phenomenally if you have worked with the band before. So you can say, hey, I photographed you guys before. Do you think I can come and shoot this show this time? It would be great to work alongside with you. You know, make it personal. Say that, you know, you have seen them before. Say that you have photographed them before. Maybe even show off some of the photos from that previous gig. And that way they at least can go, oh yeah, I recognize that photographer from before. He was pretty good. They were pretty good. So we might get them to come along again. There is no problem with sharing all those sort of information because it can help you too. If you haven't, it's no problem at all. I'll also build up a tiny portfolio into my email or message with a couple of images just showing some of the shots that I have done over the years, and it just kind of helps them to, if they do decide to go, you know, is this guy any good or this person any good, then, you know, there's some examples there. All these different things, it just helps it be a little bit more personal. So there's no problem with reaching out to the bands on the socials or on emails or anything like that. There are cases where if you do message the band, they'll say, look, we would love to have you work for us, but we're not allowing freelancers in. You have to get into this show with a publication. And you'll sometimes find this with a lot of bigger name acts and bigger shows. Look, I have done the previous technique with big name acts. Sometimes it's worked, a lot of times it hasn't. But they've given solutions as to how, you know, it can help you get into the show. And the biggest thing that they'll probably recommend is getting in with a publication. And I get asked all the time about how to get in with a publication. And it's just as easy as trying to find out details about the bands. You just go on to the likes of, say, Google or any of the social medias and maybe find reviews or music sites or music magazines in the local area. For me, it would be Belfast, or I could say Northern Ireland, so you can narrow it down. Or you can go and research onto the band's pages before and just see who has done reviews and who has done photos in the past. You can link it all together. And if you do like the look of their website and look at the content they provide, you can reach out to publications and go, hey, I like your site, I like what's being shown. Maybe you can offer a suggestion of, I don't see too much, like for me, I love the rock and metal. Some of them don't always offer a lot of reviews on rock and metal. So I say, I like to focus on this sort of side. Do you think I can work alongside with you to get in with this show? I'll give you some of the photos and go, yeah, sure, go on ahead. We'll get you in. And then that also builds up that rapport with a publication, because that can then help you out with much more bigger shows too. Being a freelancer is fine. Working with a publication can help you out just that little bit more, because you've got somebody in the middle that is dealing with you and the bands and helping put it all together. A lot of times, you know, you'll get a pass from this here. A lot of times you won't, but at least that way you have somebody that's in charge and is shouting your name and shouting their website and saying how amazing it all is, and we want to be covering this show. So it's no problem reaching out to any publications and saying, hey, I want to work for this show. Do you think I can get in with you guys? And you know, maybe we can do some more work in the future. Just a little disclaimer here. If you're planning to work with a publication for the first time, it's always great to have the bigger picture there of saying like, you know, I would love to work for Metallica. You know, maybe this publication can let me in. And then they never see you again. You've only just shot that show for them and they never see you again. You build up small with a publication, you know, work little gigs here and there, work, you know, slightly bigger names. Don't have this wishful thinking of, okay, I need a publication to get into this big name show. I'll reach out for them. Can you get me in? Because they'll be like, you've never done work with us before, so why should I get you into this massive show when I have photographers and reviewers who've been with me for years? So it's always good to have that wishful thinking of wanting to get into the big shows, but build it up slowly with the publications. So messaging the band or going through a publication would be my main two sources of trying to get a photo pass. But one of the other ones that can work for you too is messaging the venue or the promoter of the show, because they could be looking for photos from that gig, and that could help build up a rapport to then say, oh, we're actually looking for a house photographer, so you can come along to more gigs that we've got running on too. They can also be that middle ground between you and the bands, and they know that, you know, you're a trustworthy person and they like your stuff, will get you to come along to the show. So again, the way I would treat this is similar to reaching out to the bands. You could send a message to say, hey, I see this gig that is happening in your venue. I've been to shows in your venue before, but I would really love to photograph it. Do you think I could come along? And I could even send you some photos as well afterwards. But you can see what I mean by, it may sound easy just reaching out to the bands, and in a lot of cases it can be. But in some cases it's not. You have to kind of have something in the middle, like a publication or the promoter or the venue, to then help introduce yourself to the bands and help get you into these shows. And then that helps build up that rapport. It helps build up that portfolio, and knowing that they're working with a trustworthy photographer who's providing, you know, awesome quality content could then help introduce a lot more possibilities. Like with publications, you can start to work with much more bigger acts. Or if you're working closely with the band and they know that you've done stuff with them before, maybe they might offer you a photo shoot chance, or they might bring you out on tour. Or like I've mentioned already with working with the venue or the promoter, maybe they're looking for a house photographer. All of these things together not only help you, but they help all the individuals that are taking part, whether it's the bands, the managements or the promoters, because they want to see content, they want to see who you are, they want to see your character, and they want to see your work. And again, there is nothing wrong with doing any of the things that I have talked about. Whether it's getting in with a publication, because again, there's some shows that they don't know about, but you're really passionate about it. You know, that'll then help their website and it'll help get you into the show. Or there's just no problem with messaging the bands too, because that way you get to know what their rules are, who you need to contact, is it easy, is it not, blah blah blah. But they've built up a bit more of a relationship with you and they can start looking out for you. It's amazing the ecosystem that goes on with concert photography and what all you do. But again, there is no problem with sending personal messages to yourself. Again, just don't expect yeses all the time. Don't even expect no's all the time. I've had more blanks than I have had yeses and no's. But don't let that discourage you, okay? So hopefully this video has helped for you guys. If it has, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know some of your tips too, if you do a lot of your messaging yourself. And while you're at it, don't be afraid to like, share, subscribe, and hit that wee bell icon so you can stay up to date with future videos. And I will catch you in the next video.